I'll just give it just a minute. I forgot the 30-second countdown that time.
30 seconds. Hit the
You know,
red
I
button.
did that.
Hit the
I
red
did that.
button. Dude, hit the red
It's
button.
it, it's in there. We're live. Ain't got
Oh,
no viewers though, but I can go back. I guess maybe. Let's see. Hang on a minute. There's somebody. All right,
Wesley.
everybody. This is going to be our Weiss Lake, our little pre-tournament broadcast. Kind of we started this with Bankhead. Just taking an opportunity to promote the area. Then we got Tim and Shiloh. That are guides on Weiss Lake. That's very familiar with the lake ramps. And surrounding area right there that hopefully can share some information. That makes your trip to Weiss a little better. And you want to talk about the sponsors, or you want me to?
Um, I can. It don't matter. First person our first people we want to thank would be Cherokee Chamber of Commerce and Miss Joey Perry. Um, we want to thank Bay Springs Miss Terry. Want to thank ACC Crappie Sticks, Delta Jigs, Pops Jigs, First National Bank. I want to thank HH Rod and Reels. Um, I think Cole and Sons, which is me and Wesley. I think that's about all of them. And if I missed any, I apologize, but the list sometime I don't have it wrote down tonight, so I might have missed some.
Yeah, and we're going to try to keep this one a little short and sweet. Tim and Shiloh been having some long days, doing a lot of guide trips, busy time for them. But I mean, I guess one thing, people coming that's never been to Weiss, what's some of the big safety hazards, in areas of the lake that people need to kind of keep an eye on when running?
Just stay in the channel, in the river channel or the creek channels until you. If you're out of the creek channel or river channel, just idle till you see you're good. That's the main thing.
Yeah, the other thing I would say, I know, I mean, we all know there's some rain coming in this week. Watch for floating debris on the river channel. I mean, it's there. It's coming down. It's going to keep coming down as long as we keep getting rain. So keep your eyes peeled for stuff on the river channel that's floating.
Good places to put in is Bay Springs, Little River Marina, um, the state ramp on the causeway, um, Leesburg Landing, of course, and that's about it. So, I mean, that's the best ones. I mean, there's others, but
It's the four main ramps, and they've all got enough water on to launch right now. Uh, I wouldn't put it anywhere else. Maybe up if you plan on fishing upriver, maybe Riverside.
yeah.
That's the only one I know of up there.
Yeah, I guess I've been up there one time. Me and Daddy
Yeah.
pre-fished up there last year for the NCL.
There'll be whole trees floating up there.
Yeah.
If we get that
Need to
rain.
watch them sandbars. I know that for a
Yeah,
fact.
I ain't
yeah.
going. Yeah, I didn't
Huh?
even go back after that. I ain't been back up there after that. After we got what creek is that up in there that's got that sandbar that comes across it? You got looks like 5 foot. If you don't hit it in that 5 foot or whatever, you're gonna be on top of something.
You talking about up Riverside area?
Yeah, it's on up past it, on farther up than that,
Clear Creek.
Clear Creek?
maybe.
Is that the entrance
Uh,
going into it?
yeah, right there at the entrance.
Yeah.
Because once you got right past it, it dropped right back off, and
Yeah.
I had to wade. I had to wade that day and push it off.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought he
Yeah,
was
you
going to
ain't
let me
the only
get out.
one that's had to do that.
Which
Yeah,
But
well, see, we had the Pickwick Wilson tournament, but right before that last year,
yeah.
and I had to go swimming for my boat at the Pickwick Wilson tournament on like Wednesday or Thursday that week in
Right.
49-degree surface temp,
what you
and
gotta do?
then
What you gotta do, Wesley, is when they're that shallow, you gotta make one pass at it with a wake, and then ride your wake over the top of it.
I'm not a talented shallow water fisherman whatsoever.
You just ride your wake over the sandbar.
I'm gonna tell you what I'm gonna do now. If I go back in there, I'm going and I'm dropping the trolling motor and I can see it for 70 foot coming and I'll try to drive around it
No,
with the trolling motor.
just, just hit it on pad. You'll make it.
I can't afford to fix it if it don't make it. But
That, we used to get in there when it would go when the winter level was 6 foot down, and it's hard to get in there now with it 3 foot down. So that's just how much it's silted in up there over the years.
And
yeah,
has it always been that way?
It's always been hard to get in the wintertime, but it's getting harder and harder. But I think those people actually go out there and dig that out every year so they can get in and out.
as far as any lodging, for people coming in that, I know that's always a big concern everywhere we go. Where's the best places to stay? With people hauling their boats in and stuff. What
Yeah,
are some of the places?
I would suggest Bay Springs probably be at the top of the list if they got any rooms open. And then other than that, maybe Weiss Lake Lodge. Would you say, Tim?
Little River Marina's got,
Yeah.
they probably got rooms.
Little River Marina.
Really just depends on what part of the lake you're fishing is where I would stay. If you're going to put in on the lower end, I'd stay at Bay Springs. If you're mid lake or so, I'd stay at Little River Marina or Weiss Lake Lodge. That's really the only ones you can stay at around here. That
Is the Weiss Lake Lodge one that got the big fish out in front of it?
yes, yep. They've got new owners now, I think.
Yeah, when we stayed there for NCL, I think Aaron and RD stayed there,
Yeah,
and they were selling at that time, so that would have been last April, almost ready to close, but
I think they've sold again since then.
sold again since then.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And as far as we don't want no information, but people coming from out of town, maybe people that don't ain't even gonna fish, this week with the tournament. Kind of how is the fishing, like the population and size right now? How's Weiss fishing?
It's
What
good.
could people expect?
It's probably the healthiest I've seen it since I've been down here. Numbers and size wise, honestly, you can go anywhere on the lake and catch a big fish right now, from one end to the other. And
I mean, it's
I'll put it to y'all like this: it's going to be one of those you cover water.
yeah.
It's. I told everybody at Bankhead we were going to cover a bunch of water, and we're going to cover a bunch of water again. It's you can put troll motor down anywhere on this lake and can bump into a big one.
Yeah. That's kind of our goal going into it. I told him that yesterday. My goal for this, I don't care where we place. I just want to cover more water efficiently, effectively cover water better than we have in some previous tournaments, and really Weiss is, I don't fish there. I ain't really ever fun fished it, It's always been tournament oriented, but I've really enjoyed Weiss every time we've been. We got a little better each time we've been, learned something new each time we was down there. And because I was just tickled to death, to win big fish last year, and still don't know how I caught that fish, but hey, I got him.
Well, last year we were there in February. Seemed like the winning bag was 13 pounds with 7 fish. Treadgill and Phillips won. And then when we come back to fish NCL, I know Shiloh was out there pre-fishing and going to fish, but changed his mind. But you were catching fish close to 3 pounds
Yeah, I caught a
for
3.
NCL, and that was like late March because that was April 1st when the tournament was.
Yeah, so Brandon and Jonathan had a heck of a bag that our tournament last year, and then the weekend after I had 1480 for the USA, and then right before the NCL I caught a 3 and a 270, like that Thursday.
Well, I mean, we fished that NCL and they weighed in a 3-pounder down there, and that was really my first one to see at a weigh-in that came out of Alabama. I mean, we've been to Grenada, and everybody knows what happens on a spring tournament in Grenada, what you're about to see, in some fashion. So that was really my first 3 pound Alabama fish weighed in that I seen. And do y'all think that, maybe Weiss Lake could be coming back into,
It
the
it
Weiss
could
Lake
be.
of old? It's
I
called
don't I
crappie
don't know.
capital of the world for many years. And
I don't know if it'll ever get that healthy. Tim's seen it more firsthand than I have. I just know from when I first come down 2 years ago, and after seeing it that first year, and then all of last year, this year's got a lot more fish in it than I've seen the past two.
Last Monday,
do,
this is
do
on
they still come
Monday.
in and go ahead?
Last Monday there
Um,
was 13 boats in Bay Springs and 12 boats in Bose Cove. So we get tons of fishing pressure. So you got to figure all that in too. And then everybody else everywhere at Yellow Creek that's on the lake. So it's like that all the time here. So it's it gets a lot of fishing pressure.
yeah,
But
see,
we grow big fish. So
we was kind of enlightened, in some of our first trips down there for different tournaments. That you come in, like I remember coming into Yellow Creek one time, and I pretty much had to kill the gas motor and drop my trolling motor and zig and zag through all the boat
yeah,
traffic to get to where I wanted to get to.
yeah.
So
My
and then we've seen Little River like that before, be a bunch of fish, and
my
uh,
my first trip down in 2021, I'd always heard about Yellow Creek, and I went in there, and I bet you there was 50 plus boats from the mouth to the back, just all long lining. Um, and that's what we're talking about. There's a lot of pressure on this lake, and the guys that have been here, they know Bay Springs really isn't that big. So when you get 12 to 15 boats in there, um, you really got to watch it. If you got that in Wesley, I know you've been in Bay Springs. When you come around the corner there and you've got that many boats in a in a creek or a nook or a cranny like that, don't run through them. Put the boat down off pad and idle through. Be respectful to them. You know, um, that's one of the
I,
big things that when you get that many guys out here, they start cutting each other off.
yeah,
I remember
yeah. I
the
mean, and
first tournament I ever fished at Weiss was probably 3 years ago, and it was Crappie USA. The wind was so bad, we was trying to get out of the wind. I forget where we was at. It looked like it was 50 boats in there, and they was out running over you, and it was tons of schools of fish, but it wasn't tournament fish.
yeah,
Because Wesley told that one guy, said, if you'll drop your hook right there, you'll catch a fish. It's about 100 under your boat. And
yeah.
we left out and tried to find somewhere else. But God, it was a lot of people in that little
Yes,
cove, is what I
Little
call it.
River, sure.
yeah, it get crowded. Do they still come in every year? I had read somewhere, a few years back that they come in and stock Weiss help like for to
They
help
stocked
restock
it
with.
since they stocked it since 1997 up until about 2 years ago, and they quit. They think that the stocked fish has stunted their growth of the native fish, so they quit stocking it.
Oh, okay.
They were losing a lot of fish before they reached 10 inches. So,
Hmm.
which that seems to be on stocked lakes that it don't that a lot of times it doesn't it it, it can hurt as much as it helps. But the amount of fish they would put in 300,000 to 600,000 crappie a year, and 5 to 10% of them would live. So, but we're still catching black nose, and that's what they stopped, black nose. But we're not any small ones anymore because they're at least 2 years old now.
Yeah.
Do you think because they quit stocking that's what made it healthier this year?
Well, I wish if they would, if they ever stock it again, that they would have a hatchery with native fish from the lake or from the Coosa to stock it with instead of uh, farm fish, just whatever they get. but that black nose is a recessive gene, and that's so they can tell the survival rate of the stocked fish. So uh, I don't know. I'm not a biologist, but he says they don't need to stock it anymore because of that. They've even talked about going back to a 9-inch size limit, just because of the mortality of the fish before they reach 10 inches.
I caught one. Caught one yesterday. It was a 2021 tagged fish. Uh, that was 11 inches long. So you got to think in 2021, that fish was over 10 inches and a legal fish to be tagged, and he's grown 1 inch in 3 years. 2021. So
So
that
there's a
tells
lot of
you,
fish.
yeah, that tells you that they have it's a slow growth rate for some fish here. So,
Well, I will say the Weiss Lake showed me a thing or two, because the lakes we fish here, that I grew up fishing here at home, we didn't have a lot of black crappie, and now in the past, I say 3 years, you're starting to catch more and more of those. But I came in Little River one time, and that same day he was talking about, and actually seen them monster. I mean, I couldn't even realistically tell you how many fish was in a school. I mean, you didn't even have to be accurate with live scope to throw it in them. I mean, it was just huge wads of them, and it was all blacks, roaming like that in them huge schools. And I've seen that a few times since then. But man, if I was not in a tournament, we probably could have double limited in, I'm gonna
yeah,
say, in a couple hours. I mean,
Yep.
just unreal at what we've seen. And I like Weiss. Weiss has always been, maybe good to us, fun. And I'm not a local. The only times I've ever fished Weiss is either pre-fishing or tournament day. So,
It can be a
but
tough lake to learn, to figure out. It can be really tough. But you can, if you fish here for like a couple of months, then go to another lake, you're like, dang.
yeah.
yeah, yeah, I
It's,
can concur. Y'all got it good up there guiding on that one.
So the weather on Friday is not going to be very good because it's going to be a lot of rain. What do y'all see down there on your forecast for Saturday?
it showed, I think, 40% chance of rain Saturday. And the winds aren't going to be too bad. I think 5 to 10. I keep checking Friday's weather. I know 2 days ago they were calling for 1 inch to 2 inches of rain, and this evening they were only calling for a 1/4 inch of rain Friday. So I'm sure it's going to change probably 25 more times between now and then. But um,
I would try and come Thursday if anybody
yeah,
possibly can.
yeah. And if anybody gets out there Friday and comes out and has any trouble, give Tim and I a call. I would hate for somebody to get stranded out there on that river, especially with them pulling water the way they are. Um, so just be mindful of that.
And do
Yeah, it
y'all
looks
still
like
have that recovery team down there, that marine recovery? They still.
Yeah, we do. We do. If you have any trouble, I can call him too. If we're not able to get you, but he's got a lot of equipment. If not
Mm-hmm.
something we can do, but hopefully nobody has to have that.
And be and there is channel markers on Weiss, so try to stay between them when they're where they are present. The other thing is, if you see buoys out there, they're not just marking shallow water. Some of them are marking timber fields, and that timber's just not where that buoy is. I watched a boat a couple weeks ago, right before the USA that was here, and they ran right through a patch of flooded timber that ain't but 6 inches under the surface. And um, just be mindful where those buoys are, because there's timber around them, and that's what they're there marking. But try to follow your maps and stay in that channel the best you can. I've been here 2 years, and I still don't cut flats here. There's too much stuff, and I know Tim doesn't either in a lot of places. And he's been a full-time guide here for several years.
Because there's nothing there today, don't mean there's not a tree that floated in tonight. There's whole upriver is terrible. The banks are lined with whole trees on both sides, and when we get a flood, a bunch of that stuff turns loose and it comes straight down the river. Any kind of hard rain or the water coming up just a little bit, but maybe we won't get the rain that they're predicting, and everything will be good. But sometimes, unless you're going upriver to fish, sometimes that stuff don't make it down here for a couple of days. So we have that too. So
And Kevin came in. So he came in late. And just reiterating on the timber. Somebody it was fishing Crappie USA getting in that timber, and so what Shiloh was kind of touching on. Watch the timber patches there. And then here's Scott D's asking about what about the local tag fish promotion that we have seen on Facebook? Has that started up yet? Or
it started. I've had 2 customers catch tagged fish, $100 each. So,
that's right. I seen
Yeah,
where y'all had caught one.
you can get a badge. I think, what are they, $15?
$15
At most any of the marinas and several gas stations around the area. And I think they're red tags this year. So if you catch a fish with a red tag, just take it to where you bought your batch and turn it in. The fish does have to be alive, or the tag still has to be in the fish.
Yeah, don't pull the tag out.
Don't just pull the tag out. Make sure they can see that tag in the fish. So
But it's anywhere from $50 to $10,000. There's 1,006 tagged. There's, I can't remember how many $1,000. I think there's like 50 $1,000 ones. There's 200 or 300 $100 ones, and tons of $50 ones, and then there's 1 or 2 $10,000 ones.
That's pretty good right there. I wish we'd
Yeah,
done something like that up here.
Just leave me the 10,000. That's all I want.
Yeah, that'd be a good, pretty good payday right there.
Yeah.
Well, look, last year at Bay Springs, there was $2,000 or $3,000 ones caught right there in Bay Springs, wasn't it?
Yeah. The last year I did it, I paid out 3 or 4 $1,000 ones at Little River Marina, and within a couple of days of it starting, a guy caught 2. He caught one under a dock. Went back the next morning and caught another one under the same dock.
Pretty good.
Yeah.
As far as we've touched on about everything. What would be some good restaurants? Where some good food be at for people coming in?
Coosa Corner for breakfast, lunch and dinner.
They serve good food just about any time of the day.
Any time of day. And then you can't go wrong with Decks and Docks either. They've got. I haven't had anything bad there. I know Tim hasn't. And it's just a good place to be. It's right there on the water and at the Leesburg Bridge.
If you want a steak, Tony's Steakhouse, but get there early because you have to. If you don't, you'll be waiting in line. There's
Is that buffet still good? Called Beans and Greens or something like that?
Yeah, beans and greens. Yep.
It's just way out in the sticks, but it was good.
Yeah, it's about 8 or 10 miles out of the way, but it's good.
It's good. It's a big buffet style place. So, but that's
Kevin commented some good info that several bins up north, it seems to collect a lot of floating debris. For people coming in, watch out for that. And then I don't know that I can pronounce that. Don
Says Don Bigot.
Don Bigotes, Mexican restaurant.
Gotes.
Mexican food.
That's great.
We always call it Big Toes.
We call it Big Toes around here.
That's probably what I call it from now on, because I didn't do well pronouncing that. That's my Lawrence County slang, I guess.
Little River Marina has breakfast, lunch, and stuff too. So if you're over that way, they'll have breakfast, lunch.
Well, I'm going to make a post tomorrow. The meeting on Friday night is not mandatory. I'm just going to be in a booth at Coosa Corner, and it's just going to be for the ones that need to pay their registration or any new one for membership registration and their waivers. Saturday morning, we'll be at the Pavilion at Leesburg Landing. We're going to do like we did last year. We're going to come in the right gate, make a loop around the pavilion. First come is going to be the first one in line out the gate, because we're going to line up in a single file line. Then if we have to, we'll start a second line. That's going to be from 5 a.m. to 6 a.m. and then we'll leave shortly after and start fishing from 7 to 3. But I will post that on our page tomorrow.
Yeah. Trying to think of anything else.
Yeah, we've pretty much hammered all the topics there. Just like I said, just be mindful of floating debris coming down that river channel, because it may look like a stick on the surface when you run by it, but it could be a whole tree under the surface.
Yeah.
And I want to hit again, thank everybody, thank Cherokee Chamber of Commerce, Miss Joey Perry, Bay Springs, ACC, H&H Rod Reels, Delta Jigs, Pops Jig Company, Weiss Lake Bait and Tackle, and also Little River Marina. I forgot those two the first time. Other than that, that's about all I've got.
Well, we thank y'all for taking some time to spend with us and talk about the lake. And I know y'all have had some long days and a lot of trips, and got a lot more coming up just from talking to y'all. And so we'll try. We're at 26 minutes, so that's I think we've covered all the bases, on that, and that's really what this is all about. Maybe try to help people have a better day on the water, or better experience in general, when visiting these lakes when they come. So we appreciate y'all, and
Anytime.
we'll see y'all Friday, maybe Saturday. I know
We'll
at
probably
least by
do Friday.
Saturday.
Hang out
And
with
look, we have a shot at having 40 boats in both divisions, or 40 plus. Any of y'all watching got friends or know people that crappie tournament fish, invite them to come and fish. We trying to hit that 40 boat mark again. It'd be great for Weiss Lake and the Chamber of Cherokee there for turnout. They've been good to us for 2 years, and we looking at coming back there next year for the next trail. So sort of hit up the buddies and try to get some more people in.
Yeah. I hope the weather don't keep anybody from coming.
Well, that's what I'm afraid, that Friday weather may make it be lower than what we want, but we're thankful for all of them that show up, and I want to wish everybody good luck and be safe.
Good deal.
And then next Wednesday, is that when you're going to do the recap?
Yeah, it'll be next Wednesday night at 7 p.m. that we'll do the recap, and we'll have the winners from each division. I think what we're going to try to do this time is just have the way me and my dad both can be on and kind of go back and forth with is just have a representative from each team. So thank you, Tim and Shiloh, and we thank everybody that tuned in. And everybody that supported the trail up until this point, and we hope to keep growing this thing, make it better each year. It's not a sprint, it's a marathon more so. And I think with some consistency and transparency, it'll continue to hopefully get better. And hopefully we come to become more appealing to get some more sponsors in the trail down the road. Magnolia kind of sets the standard for state trails, club trails. They do really well with what they do there, and that's obviously a goal for us as well here at Alabama. I know they're growing big in Mississippi, but we got some great fishing in Alabama too. So
yeah, got great fishermen in Alabama too.
But we thank y'all, and we thank everybody for that supports what we're doing, or even if it's just tuning in to watch a little bit. So and don't forget, what time are we going to start the live broadcast Saturday?
Around 3.
Okay. So
You might
everybody
have to
tune
come
in.
30 minutes early to get it set up. That's your feel.
That's our cue right there, though. Tim sleepy. John told him to go to bed.
Yeah.
So thank y'all. We'll see y'all Friday. Y'all have maybe y'all have a lot of bent poles and big smiles all week.
Well,
No.
John Fomar should come up and be a guest and do the weigh-in for us. Is what he should do.
There you
I
go.
mean, he is a podcaster. I mean, he could do the weigh-in.
He's
He
a
could
good
be
talker.
director.
Yeah,
He could be. He could come
come
and
straight here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Heck yeah.
There you go, John. You may not want to fish, but you do the weigh-in. Guest director. So thank y'all, and everybody be sure to tune in Saturday for the live weigh-in. See some big old Coosa River fish come off of Weiss. I know it's coming. Somebody's going to hit them. And then don't forget, next Wednesday night at 7, we'll have the winners from each division. Thank y'all.
All right.
Thank you.
Bye.
see y'all this weekend.